Oh, should we start? Why so many people? Huh? Lunchtime, okay. So there was lecture till 2 o'clock or something?
Till 1:30.
So lunchtime is over by that logic. Okay, so we'll start. Now, the first article is about deep sea mining. Now, deep sea mining is in news since last 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever number you can imagine, that many years it is continuously in news. After every 3, 4 months, 6 months, we get this news about deep sea mining. Sometimes they talk about polymetallic nodules. Sometimes there is this authority, International Seabed Authority or UN clause treaty. Something or the other will remain in news for sure. Okay. Now, when we are talking about deep sea mining, right now there is a tussle between international community and United States of America. First of all, deep sea mining. Mining, you people understand what we do with mining? Yeah, minerals, whatever, metals or whatever we can get. We try to extract that. Now, deep sea mining. So we are talking about deep sea. What do you understand by deep sea?
Under the sea.
Under the sea. So when you are getting, let's say, this is your continental part. Let's say this is India. Right? This is Asia. This is India. So here you have this Indian Ocean region. Okay. Now, as far as India is concerned, this part of India, we have complete sovereign authority over the land that we have. Right? So whatever we want to extract from this land, we can do that. Yes. Even there is this treaty called UN clause. Okay. Under this treaty, there is some area even in the oceanic waters which will also be there with India. That means if we want to extract something from the oceanic waters, even that is possible. So that area is somewhere around 200 nautical miles. So just imagine, this is India's border. From this border till 200 nautical miles, this much distance, let's say. Okay. In this distance, if there is anything we want to extract, we can extract that, no problem. Okay. This is just basic thing that you need to understand. Now see, when we talk about the remaining ocean part, what about this ocean? Who controls this ocean? Which country has the sovereign authority over oceans? Huh? USA? United Nations? No? Yes? So those who have just come, the question is, which country has sovereign authority over oceans? We have sovereign authority over our territory, right? From Jammu Kashmir till Kanyakumari, that's the region we have complete control over. What about the Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic? Which country controls, has complete sovereign authority to make rules on that and all? Okay, that body is there for sure, but does that body have sovereign authority? Okay, so there are few areas on this planet Earth, or rather if we go beyond Earth also, we call them common things. Okay, this global commons. No country owns those areas. For example, this Antarctica region, nobody owns. Similarly, these oceans, nobody owns. Oceans belongs to every country. Right? Now, let's say there are some minerals which are there in these oceans. Now, who will extract that? That's a big question. There are some minerals. See, there are some minerals, let's say in Hyderabad. So, only Indian government will take it, right? Simple. But there are some minerals over here in these oceans, I'm saying. Ocean, that too, this deep sea area. So, if you go in the waters, let's say deeper in the waters, where this seabed will be there. So somewhere around 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 meters, when you go deeper in the water, there will be this seabed. So let's say this is the continent part. So this is, let's say, water. Okay. So you see somewhat this kind of structure will be there. I'm talking about this region. This is the seabed. Now when it comes to these oceans, in these seabeds, we are going to find so many minerals which can be extracted, which will be very, very much beneficial for any country's economy. Let's say now we are making electric vehicles. So for that we need some minerals. We can extract that from here. So which country will do that? Nobody. Because nobody has sovereign authority, or rather when it is nobody, it is like anyone can do that. Anyone can go to any area and just start mining. Most probably what will happen, might is right will work on. The country who is very powerful will go and just extract it. Who can stop it? So like USA, China, such countries will go and do it. Will the world benefit out of it? No, only that country will benefit out of it. Right? So that's why at the United Nations level, with this UN clause treaty, what we had tried to do is, we will have one special body who will decide who will get the rights to extract those minerals in which particular area. Let's say they'll say India will have the authority in this central Indian Ocean region for next 10 years. For next 10 years, India can extract minerals from here. Okay. So this body is from United Nations under this UN clause treaty. Okay. They will decide. Now that might change also. They may give this license every year to some other countries. But then again, it's like only few countries will benefit out of it. So the treaty clearly says that whatever amount of money you are earning, the revenue, the profit that you are making, you have to share some amount of that profit with all the developing countries also. Because, why you have to share that? Because this ocean also belongs to them. It doesn't just belong to you, it belongs to everyone. So you have to share that revenue. You can't completely own it. Getting the idea? That's the idea behind this UN clause and this authority under it. So look at this name of this authority. It's International Seabed Authority. It was established in the year 1994 under this treaty called UN clause. The headquarters of this treaty is in Kingston, Jamaica. Please try to remember this fact, because hardly we see any headquarter in different regions, especially normally whenever we see any headquarter, that's either in Europe or in America, mostly. Okay, so Jamaica, important. Now, interesting thing. Has India signed this UN clause treaty? India has signed it. India is member of it. India is ratified. Question is about USA. USA has not ratified this UN clause treaty, and USA has a different attitude altogether. When it comes to oceans, USA has this attitude that I don't like this stuff, that I have to share the revenue with all of you and all. I will go ahead and do whatever I want to, because anyway these oceans do not belong to anyone. That kind of attitude is there, and that's why there is a conflict between International Seabed Authority and United States of America. Okay, that's the conflict which is being discussed in this particular article. Now specifically, when you say deep sea mining, you'll see this word sometimes, polymetallic nodules. Any idea what is this? You can call PMC, sorry, PMN or whatever you call it, shortcut. Polymetallic nodules. Any idea? No. Simply you can understand, let's say there is a rock. Okay, this nodule word you can understand as some kind of a rock in which there is metal, but polymetallic. That means in this rock there are poly means many different minerals are present in one particular rock. Okay, so it could have cobalt, it could have copper, any other mineral, iron, etc., etc. So many minerals are present in one small rock, that will be polymetallic nodule. Such polymetallic nodules are present in this seabed area. Okay, so when you go for extracting, when you go for this deep sea mining, you try to extract polymetallic nodules. Try to remember this term at least. Okay, we will extract this. When you extract these nodules, then after that we'll go for other processes through which we will extract whichever mineral we want from that nodule. We will extract that. Okay. Any doubt till now? No? Now what is the concern? This International Seabed Authority, they're saying it's okay, we will go for this extraction, polymetallic nodule extraction and all, but we should have some rules before we go for it. We should have some rules because these are the areas which are very fragile. This is marine, here you will see marine ecosystem, there is marine biodiversity, and you see we have explored the territorial part, but there is a lot of biodiversity in the oceans which we do not know much about. Our actions might lead to some big catastrophe in that region also. Okay, and the example is whatever we have done till now, considering that. For example, the kind of industrial revolution that has taken place, the kind of industries we have, the kind of pollution we are coming up with. Because of that, or the developmental model that we have chosen, because of which we see global warming, climate change, right? There was one of the report which was clearly saying that in the South America, around 70 to 80% animal species or this biodiversity has got destroyed. Can you imagine what kind of damage we are causing to environment? 70 to 80%, can you imagine that idea? Okay, so considering that, what some environmentalists are saying, some NGOs are saying, and even this International Seabed Authority is saying, that first let us come up with some rules, let us study all these things, and then we will provide the permit for countries to go for these extractions. Okay. On the other hand, what United States is saying, especially Mr. Trump is saying, don't stop us, we will go ahead with it. Why? Because we need for our technological advancements, especially, for example, they talk about electric vehicles we have to make and other things we have to make, for which we need these polymetallic nodules. We need these metals as soon as possible. So I don't care. That's the attitude. Yes, getting the point? So just remember one thing, one fact, USA is not member of this treaty. USA is not member of this ISA. India is part of it. Okay? Any doubt? Anything we are missing? Nothing. Yes? Any doubt about deep sea mining? Now, do you understand what is deep sea mining? You understand what is polymetallic nodules? International Seabed Authority, UN Clause Treaty? Done. Next, interesting news. Now this is a news about polyandry. You like it? Okay. Polyandry. What is polyandry? One girl, two boys, they marry. Yes. So there is a term called polygamy. Gamy means marriage, right? So when more than two people are involved in the marriage, that becomes your polygamy. So one person marrying multiple people, that is polygamy. Now polygamy could be of two types. If multiple females and single male, that is, if I'm not wrong, polygyny or polygamy. Yeah, and the other one is polyandry, wherein multiple boys, one girl. So is it common in India?
No, sir.
It is not at all common in India. Is it legal in India? Or is it illegal? Not illegal. Can you marry?
It's not legal.
Huh? It's not legal. In India, we follow this monogamy culture, wherein, at least in legal terms, we have monogamy, except with few exceptions considering the personal laws of some religions. But we follow single marriage kind of concept. Now, it is properly illegal for boys also and for girls also, right? It is illegal for sure. Then how come this is happening? That's why we find it little interesting. So, two Himachal brothers. So it is from Himachal Pradesh. So there is this tribe in Himachal called as Hatti tribe. Okay, so in the Himachal Pradesh and this Uttarakhand, they have this border region. There you will find people belonging to this Hatti tribe. And the name Hatti actually comes from this term called as hart. So hart means that smaller market that is there in different villages. Those are called hart. From there we got this name Hatti. Now, one thing, this Hatti community has got ST status. They are part of scheduled tribe. Second thing, why they are able to go for such polyandrous or marriage with multiple partners is because of the law that is present in Himachal Pradesh. In Himachal Pradesh, there is a special law, revenue law and customary tradition, which allows such kind of marriage. Are you getting this point? So our constitution, you can understand this dimension in this way, that our constitution has made some things very flexible, especially with respect to tribal community. That we try to be little flexible when it comes to tribal practices, tribal traditions. Okay, we don't strictly enforce rules. So if the state government comes up with a law which gives this kind of exception to a particular community, then it becomes legal. Okay, so in this case, is it legal?
Yes, sir.
It is legal for sure. Okay. Then some factual part you should know. For example, this Hatti community, they have two different clans. One is in Himachal, we call it Transgiri. One is in Uttarakhand, Jaunsar Bawar. Although there is very less possibility that they will ask such a technical question, but most probably they will focus on Hatti tribe. Okay. Yes, any doubt on this? No? Okay. Next one. Series of powerful quakes strike Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, strongest at 7.4 magnitude. So earthquake we had discussed already. So here specifically they are talking about earthquake in the region of Russia. Now Russia is a very vast country, like we can't imagine the size of Russia. That's approximately equal to the size of Pluto sometimes as far as the surface level is concerned. Now if you look at Russia, if you see the population of Russia, most of that population stays in the western part of Russia. So let's say this is Russia, most of the population you will observe staying in this region. Okay, here you will see Siberian region. This region specifically is called as the Far East region of Russia. Okay, this region is not so, we call it like not so much habituated. Not many people are staying, just like our Ladakh area, if you can imagine. Very few people are staying. So similarly, you imagine very few people are staying over here. And also, this is the region which now Russia is saying we want to explore more. There are so many minerals in this region that can be extracted. Till now, they have not extracted it. Even India is showing interest. India is also getting along with Russia to come up with some joint programs to explore this region, because again we can get so many minerals, so many things from this region. Okay. Now in this Far East region, look at this particular part which we call as the Kamchatka Peninsula. Mapping part, you should know what is the location. It is surrounded by, in the east, Bering Sea and Pacific Ocean, in the west, Sea of Okhotsk. So here you can see this is this peninsula, Sea of Okhotsk, and this Bering Sea, this Arctic Ocean. So just have a look at such images to get an idea about the mapping part. Okay. Now one thing about this particular region, if you go beyond this area of Pacific Ocean, this area of Japan, or this entire region, rather if I can make a map like this, and this is, let's say, North America, this is South America, and let's say here you have Africa. This is the Pacific Ocean, right? Now this is the region, something which we call as Pacific Ring of Fire. We are in the Pacific Ocean, and this region we call as Pacific Ring of Fire. Now when you read geography, when you get into this segment, you will understand that this region is called Pacific Ring of Fire because of some drifting of your continental plates, which you will understand in detail later on. Just understand one thing, this is one of the region which is highly prone to earthquakes and volcanoes. World's maximum number of volcanoes and maximum number of earthquakes you're going to find in this region only. Okay, so even Japan, we get the news of earthquakes in Japan almost every few months we get this news. It's very common over there. So even Japan is in the same vicinity of this Pacific Ring of Fire. And same is the case with this Kamchatka Peninsula. Okay, so just remember basic things. Where is this Kamchatka Peninsula? And it is located in the vicinity of this Pacific Ring of Fire. So if there is a statement in Kamchatka Peninsula, earthquake is very common, yes. Okay. Easy. This is very, very important topic. Ethanol blending in petrol. Any idea what is ethanol blending? Government has this program called as ethanol blending program. I don't read, tell me. What is ethanol blending? No idea? Yeah, blending is mixing, simple. So the plan is like, we are using our petrol or diesel. So instead of petrol, what we'll do is 100% petrol. Instead of that, we'll remove 20% and we'll add ethanol in it. And we'll use this new fuel in our vehicles. Now what will be the benefit if we add 20% of ethanol in it? Prevent pollution, very good. Huh? Yeah, carbon emission will be less. Pollution will be relatively less. There's a reason behind that. Carbon emission is less, very good. Pollution is less because when it comes to petrol, when petrol is burning and when ethanol is burning, that combustion process which takes place in the bikes. Understand one thing, any fuel which burns completely is a good fuel. Any fuel that doesn't burn completely, some part of it remains, it doesn't burn, that will lead to your emissions. Okay, so ethanol burns better than petrol. So when you are blending, mixing 20% of ethanol in the petrol, then your pollution part will be relatively less. What else you can think about? What will be beneficial for us? Something in terms of money. That we talked already.
Support farmers.
Support farmers. How? Good, you're on the good track. Support farmers, in a way you are saying that the ethanol that we make, if we are making it using sugarcane or something, maize or something, so farmers will get benefit out of it because we'll buy sugarcane from them. Okay, okay. But still I need other reason.
Petrol usage is decreased. Quantity of the petrol we use.
Very good. Petrol quantity we are reducing. Look at this dimension. This is more important. Government is thinking about two things parallelly. Number one, the petrol prices and dependence on these other countries for the supply of this crude oil and all. Okay, and we know that this supply is going to reduce in future because these resources are very limited. In next few years, let's say after 30, 40, 50 years, hardly you will find this petroleum products available in the market. That's the reason even countries of Middle East, what they are doing is they are diversifying their economy. Middle Eastern countries like Saudi Arabia and all, earlier they were completely dependent on oil. Right? Now what they are doing? They are promoting tourism, they are investing in other technologies and all. Why they are doing these things? They know after a few years there will not be any oil as such. 50 years or let's say 70, 80, 100 years. After that it won't be there, right? So what we are doing is we are trying to slowly reduce that dependence on it. This is one thing. Second, we have to pay a lot of money to buy this crude oil, natural gas, etc. Our import bill is very high. Okay, the reason why we have this trade deficit many a times, one of the major reason is we spend a lot of money in this and there is a lot of uncertainty. Suddenly there's a war starting in Middle East and the prices of petrol from 100 to 200 very easily. That will lead to inflation in India. Because of inflation, opposition parties will say government is not doing anything. There is political instability, government resigns. Such things, such horrible things happen. Petrol price matters. right? Now, this is one reason, and second reason is this pollution part and all. We want to transition towards renewable sources and all. So one way is to go for this blending program. So point is, if we blend ethanol with petrol 15-20%, that will not affect your engine much. Your vehicles can work properly with this kind of blending. But we are substantially reducing the greenhouse gas emission. We are substantially reducing our import bill. 20%, you can understand, we don't need to buy 20% oil which we are buying right now. So the import bill will be reduced very substantially. Okay. Now, here government said we will blend ethanol, and they started in the year 2003. And they said by the year 2025-26, not this, by the year 2030 they said, we will complete this 20% ethanol blending. By the year 2030, we will reach to the level of 20% blending. Good thing is we have done this 5 years before that. So in 2025, government has completed this task. Good news or bad news? Very good news. We don't expect government to work this efficiently, right? Even if they complete by 2030, we would have been very happy. Okay? So very good news. Now, basic part. Ethanol. What is ethanol? It's an alcohol, it's a biofuel, and just like any other fermentation process is needed to make normally any alcohol, any acid. So just like you're making this batter of idli and all, those are also, for that also fermentation happens. Similar thing, you'll take some sugar and go for fermentation, and through that such alcohols are made. So this is ethanol. Now this ethanol can be made in two ways. One way is this petrochemical method. So you have crude oil, natural gas. When you refine those petroleum products, or let's say what we call as the crude oil or natural gas, when you extract them, refine them, when you go for some chemical processes with them, you come up with different products. From the same crude oil, you'll get petrol, you'll get diesel, you'll get some other things, you'll even get this polythene that you get, that is also coming from the same. All these materials are coming, right? One of that is your ethanol also. So through this petrochemical method, you can get ethanol. Second method is through your bioproducts, or through your what I call as normal crops like sugar cane, maize, etc. From those crops also you can get ethanol. Okay, so when you get it from these, you call it a biofuel. Okay, now anything? Yes, this data you can use. Ethanol production increased in India from 38 crore liters to 660 plus crore liters. Now the reason why they have completed this target 5 years earlier, because government spended lot of money, lot of efforts on increasing the production of ethanol, and that worked out really well. This is visible from this, and this has benefited many of our farmers. So you see 1.2 lakh crore rupees has been paid to farmers because we're using these sources of sugarcane, maize. Mostly it is sugarcane. Okay, good thing, 1.36 lakh crore rupees forex saved. What is forex? Foreign exchange, or simply you say the amount of money that you pay when you're buying oil, you have to pay in dollars. That's the forex reserve. Now to pay in dollars, you should have dollars with you. How you will get dollars? You have to sell something to other countries, then only you will get, right? So this forex reserve you have saved. Okay? Good news? Yes, good news. Very good news. Okay. So if someone asks in interview, what do you think government is doing, good or bad? So while talking about good, talk about this dimension. Okay, good. Now, next one. WHO sounds alarm on the risk of chikungunya epidemic. Is it important? It is important. Chikungunya as a disease is important. WHO is giving warning. That is also very important, right? You should know just the basic facts about this disease, chikungunya. Simply, it's a mosquito-borne viral disease. Now, we use one term called as vector-borne diseases. What do you understand by vector-borne diseases? Any idea?
Transfer from mosquito by
Disease transferred from
by the
one person to other person.
mosquito is a host, I think. So the
Mosquito is a host. Okay,
it's a carrier, so like a vector.
very good.
We are hosted and then we injected to it.
Good, very good. You people know these things. I didn't expect this. Okay, so here this mosquito is acting as a vector. Now, when you say vector, what happens simply is, let's say there is a virus or a bacteria or a plasmodium, whatever. Let's say there is this virus which is there present in mosquito. It is not infecting mosquito. Mosquito is not dying because of this virus. Okay, but it is present. Now this mosquito bites you and this virus enters your body. And when it enters your body, now it affects you. In this case, normally we feel that this disease is caused because of this mosquito. No, it is caused by that virus. Mosquito was a vector. Vector means someone who is just carrying it, just like any normal vehicle who carries you from this place to other place. So that role is played by mosquito over here. Whenever any such disease is there, which is caused because of these vectors. Vectors play a role, and then there is other virus or something. We name them as vector-borne diseases. Okay? Now, it is caused by chikungunya virus. No need to remember, it's easy. But it is caused by these vectors. You should know these names specifically. Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus. These two mosquitoes. I think these are the same mosquitoes which are even famous for dengue and even Zika maybe, just check. But you should remember these names for sure. Okay? Now, symptoms you people know already. Pain, headache, too much. This is important. There is no vaccine. Bad luck. There is not even any drug which is available to treat this particular disease. So what doctors will simply do, whatever the symptoms are there, they will deal with those symptoms. You're getting fever, they'll give you some tablet for that. You have headache, they'll give tablet for that. They only deal with those symptoms. They don't have any special drug which will deal with this virus directly. Okay? Now, Indian government has this initiative called as National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program. Now, this is a major program. And here we are talking about overall all those vector-borne diseases. Okay? So, under this, they cover malaria, dengue, chikungunya, Japanese encephalitis, lymphatic filariasis, and Kala Azar. Okay? What they do is they focus on how we can detect these diseases in people as soon as possible. So they will give some guidelines under this policy. There will be guidelines for the healthcare agencies, the government agencies, private agencies, everyone, how we can detect fast and how we can deal with it faster so that it doesn't spread much. Okay, so just know this kind of program is available with us. Okay, any doubt? No? Now next with Mr. Trump again. So Trump is nowadays talking about something called as stable coin. Any idea what is stable coin? Bitcoin or cryptocurrency? What is cryptocurrency? Don't know, sir. Huh? Try. Cryptocurrency, I hope you people heard about it at least. Digital currency. Import export.
Sir, hear that words, but we don't know the real meaning.
We don't know. Okay.
Like Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is an example of cryptocurrency. But what is cryptocurrency? That's a question. Now see how the financial system works. Understand this thing. Let's say I am trying to have a trade with this person here in India or here at one village also. Okay. When I'm normally, if I buy something from him, let's say he has got some wheat. I don't have wheat available with me. I've got some mangoes with me. He'll give me wheat, I'll give him mangoes, trade is done. That's the system through which this transaction is possible. Otherwise, it is not possible. If I don't have anything to provide to him, why will he give his products available with him to me? Right? That's how genuinely, naturally this barter system evolved. Yes, we can understand this part. Now, with time, what countries have tried to do is to bring some better kind of system. They got into the system of using token money, or even this fiat money which we use right now. So they said, we have a government body, we have a king, and this king has minted some coins or some notes. Okay, you can trust, because on this note it is written that king is going to pay you for that amount. So if you take your 100 rupees note or 500 rupees note, governor has signed, RBI governor has mentioned that I bear this much money from this person, I'll give it back to you. So if you take this 100 rupee note and give it to governor, he will give you something of 100 rupees, some gold or something. That's the logic behind that. You see, this currency note has no value. It's just a normal paper. Are you understanding this part? So everything is working on the basis of trust, right? If people don't trust this currency note, what will be the use? Useless. Many times this happens. 10 rupee coin, some people don't accept it. Any use of your coin then? So everything is happening just because of that trust. And that trust is backed by government. But why would you trust government also? What's the guarantee? Don't look at India, look at any other country where there is so much political instability. Look at Afghanistan. Taliban minted a coin. Taliban gone. Now, will you trust this coin? Who knows? So for people to trust even government has to show them that, see, use these currency notes. If nobody takes it, we will give you back something in return. So mostly that something is your gold. Gold is considered as the most liquid currency in the entire world, and people trust gold worldwide, not just in India. Okay. Now the point is, what government started doing mostly is, let's say they have printed currency notes of 100, let's say 1 crore. So of the same amount, they will keep some gold with them in the vault of RBI. They'll say, just use these currency notes. For that, don't worry, we have gold available with us. If something happens, we'll give you gold. Right? So people will trust. People will trust on these currency notes and they'll use it. Now with time, the system evolved wherein we reached to the fiat money system, wherein what we said, government said, now you can trust us. We don't need to have this much gold as such, because the amount of money that is circulating right now, it's too much. That much gold even we don't have. Government said, you can trust us. Look at this, we are having political stability, economically we are doing good, so you can trust, and people are trusting. So now RBI doesn't have that much amount of gold available with it, the amount of money which is circulating in our country. But still we trust that this money has value, this note has some value. Getting the point? Yes, that's how the system works. Now, here there is role of this central bank, Reserve Bank of India, or central bank of that country, who is providing that backing to this currency. If they don't provide that backing, will you trust on this currency? No. But let's assume there is no backing of government. And let's say we are living in Hyderabad only, and we have to do some trade. So maybe we can also come up with some new note, and we can also have a trade among all of us. That is also possible, right? Just imagine that idea. Now comes the role of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is something which doesn't have any backing as such. It's a currency which has no backing as such. And this currency comes into picture because of a new technology that is called as blockchain technology. Have you heard this name? You'll study blockchain technology in detail in science and technology. But basic, just understand, it is a chain of different blocks. Now what banks will do, banks will, if any transaction is taking place, let's say I am transferring 100 rupees to this person and he's giving me his book. So I transferred, but I transferred where? In the banks. The money is there with the banks. What bank will do, bank will keep the track of all the transactions. he sent this money to this person, all the transaction list will be there with them, right? Now similar thing will be happening in blockchain technology. They have different blocks, block number 1, block number 2, block number 3, and each of the block is connected to other block. Now what happens is, if something is written in this, okay, then it will be connected to this one. So all the transactions will be mentioned completely in this blockchain. Nobody can delete anything as such. Even if you delete, entire chain is there. No hacking possible, nothing can be removed as such. Okay. So this is the blockchain technology. Just I'm telling you the basic part. Otherwise it will take some time to understand it in detail. Now using the same blockchain technology, such cryptocurrency has got into picture. And there are many people around the world who say that we don't want any currency which is controlled by central government or any central bank. We don't want centralized system. We want decentralized system wherein nobody holds power. Here government holds complete power. These people say, we call them anarchists. They say we don't want government's control. Let there be a system wherein demand and supply will decide everything. Okay. So that's how the idea of cryptocurrency came into picture. Some countries tried to ban it, some countries supported it. As far as USA is concerned, USA supports a lot, especially Donald Trump. He says that I'm going to invest in it and I'm going to make USA the top leader when it comes to cryptocurrency. Okay, but other countries are very much concerned. If cryptocurrency becomes the common currency around the world, let's say instead of US dollar, cryptocurrency is being used. Okay, and suddenly, let's imagine if we are using US dollar right now to buy oil and to buy anything, when we are selling anything, what will we do with US dollar? Because it's a US dollar. Suddenly if USA says that, I'll not give my currency to anyone, and even if you come up with US dollar, we'll not give you anything. Or demonetization, which our government did. They said from today onwards, all the currency notes of US dollar, useless. Can you understand this thing? So there are concerns about this economic stability. Okay. Now, there is this new term which is stable coin. Why it is coming into picture? Because with respect to cryptocurrency, there is one problem, that its price keeps on changing continuously. Today, let's say there is one cryptocurrency, let's say Bitcoin. When it started, let's say initially its price is $5. One Bitcoin is equal to $5. Suddenly it becomes 5,000. Suddenly it becomes 5 crore. Suddenly it drops down also. So there is demand supply issue, because of which there is so much instability. So now they are saying we are bringing a new coin, new cryptocurrency which will be stable. Okay, so they call it stable coin. And how it will become stable? Because we are going to link it with United States dollar or gold. They are saying we are going to link it with gold. Let's say they link it with gold. So it will become like one stable coin is equal to 1 gram of gold. So don't you think, because the price of gold is relatively stable, so similar stability will there be with respect to cryptocurrency in terms of stable coin. That's the idea which is being talked about. Okay, just basic you need to know. No need to worry much about this topic. Even if they ask, they'll hardly ask about these basic facts. Okay. Next, India's Navik satellite constellation faces crisis as majority of satellites become defunct. What is Navik? Or what is navigation satellite? Any idea? What is satellite? I hope satellite, we people know. Now navigation satellite.
That means location.
Very good, navigation, for the navigation purpose. So I am driving a bike, my Rapido wala, he wants to go to some place, he needs navigation. Simple. So for navigation, what you are doing, even the person who is using this Rapido application, how come they are getting these locations and all? Is there anything in the mobile phone? Huh? There is internet, there are some chips and all. But why are we in a position to check the location? How come this mobile phone is able to know this location? Mobile is just having some receiver which is receiving signals. Those signals are coming from satellite. So there are so many satellites in the world which are observing Earth continuously. They're taking images of the Earth, they're observing Earth, and they know what is where, how this route goes and everything. They know that thing because they are getting so many images. They're taking images from different dimensions. Are you getting this point? So that's why they are able to provide you that navigation service. So if there are no satellites, there is no navigation. Okay? Now, for navigation, mostly we know something called as GPS. Yes, Global Positioning Service. Who provides it? Or who owns it? Maybe USA, that's true, it's USA. So the GPS that we talk about, it is from United States of America. So it's not like they have just 1 or 2 satellites. So at least you need 7 satellites, 6, 7 satellites to at least track the entire Earth. Okay, so they have sent so many satellites. Okay, and they have covered entire planet. And that's why GPS is in a position to provide navigation service throughout the world. Okay, but we faced some problems. Initially, we were using this GPS service. Now, once upon a time, there was a war between India and Pakistan. Kargil, you can imagine. So at that time, Indian government asked this GPS system to provide some navigation so that we can reach out to this Pakistani areas, or we can reach out to these terrorists, or whatever they might have asked. USA said, we'll not provide this data. This is very sensitive and you people are in war-like situation. We can't provide such sensitive information to you. Then we understood, oh my God, we are so much dependent on this country for this navigation. Then people thought, we should have our own navigation system. We should have our own satellites. Then we don't need this GPS. Do whatever you want. So we said, we will bring our own. But because India did not have enough capability at that time, we said, we don't need it for entire globe. GPS is Global Positioning Service. Entire globe is covered. We are concerned about our security and we're not having that many resources right now with us. We said, we'll just look at our area and some vicinity of our area. That means covering Pakistan, China. We need this much region to be covered. Otherwise, we are not concerned about anyone, right? So we started developing this Regional Navigation Satellite System. Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, IRNSS. Can you understand the name? Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. We said satellite system and not just satellite, because it's a system, it will have multiple satellites in it, not one single satellite. Do you understand the entire meaning of this? In short, we call it IRNSS. Later on, government said we will change the name. We will use this new name, NAVIC, Navigation with Indian Constellation. So both names are used, IRNSS or NAVIC. Both are the same thing. Okay? So obviously, who should have developed this? Obviously, ISRO, not our government. They don't know how to develop, right? Now, this IRNSS provides 2 kinds of services. One is standard positioning service, other one is restricted service. Standard positioning service is nothing but just like your GPS. Okay, GPS like service. Rather, it is said that it will be more detailed than what GPS is providing to you. So that is accessible to all of us. So even in our mobile phones, if I'm not wrong, they will be using this instead of GPS, or maybe they will give you some option to use GPS or this IRNSS, up to you. Okay, and there is something called restricted service that is encrypted, and this is only for some authorized users. So this is for the military purpose, security purpose, intelligence purpose. So any sensitive areas, they will not give access to you. Even our government will not give that access to you. You people will misuse that, right? So that will be with only the authorized users from military or intelligence, etc. Clear? Any doubt on this? Now see, look at the countries and the systems they have. USA has GPS. Similarly, Russia has this GLONASS. It's also a global system. Then European Union has Galileo. China has Baidu. India NAVIC, but it is regional and till 1,500 kilometers only. Okay, just understand the range till 1,500 kilometers. So almost entire Pakistan is covered, substantial portion of China is covered, so we are not worried. Okay, and this QZSS by Japan, it is also regional. Do you think these names are important? Maybe they have asked in exam already. Okay, yes, very easy, such an easy question. Just they have given the name of the countries and name of their navigation satellite system. If you make such silly questions wrong in the exam, then don't expect prelims will be cleared. You should not make silly mistakes in prelims. If you don't make a hard question, that's fine. Not easy question at least. Okay? Next. Thailand wants clashes with Cambodia could move towards war. So now we are getting this news from Southeast Asia that these two countries are fighting, Thailand and Cambodia. First of all, look at the map. Okay, those who don't know. Here you have India. This is your Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur. This is your Myanmar part, and this is where we see this entire region as Southeast Asia. Okay. Now here we are going to Cambodia over here, right? And this is your Thailand, right? Now look at this map. This is your Thailand, this is your Cambodia. Now just like any country has some kind of territorial dispute with other country, if you have common territory, if you are sharing border, that means you will certainly have some dispute. That's normal. So they also have some dispute in this particular region. So there are some temples in this region, and Cambodia says this temple belongs to us. Thailand says this temple belongs to us. Simple conflict. But this conflict is also very similar to the conflicts we have in India, well, let's say between India and Pakistan, India and China, which are existing since the time of British Raj. Or maybe because if you look at India-Pakistan conflicts, it's because Britishers had drawn this boundary, right? And that led to the conflict, and which is still continuing even after 70, 80 years. Same is the case with these two countries. This territorial dispute originates from 1907. So earlier, this region was being dominated by France. We were dominated by Britain, although French had also come to our area, but French could not, take control over Indian land. Britishers won. But this region of Southeast Asia, there we see substantial domination by France. And they have drawn some map at that time, because of which this conflict is still continuing. Now, there are two major temples which are disputed. Prasatta Myo Thom and Priya Vihar Temple. Okay, these are Hindu temples present in these regions, border regions of Cambodia and Thailand. Okay, out of this also, this temple, Priya Vihar Temple, this is more important. Now, just look at the map also here. So this is the border region, this is number 1 temple, this is number 2 temple. You can see? Now I'm saying this temple is specifically more important because, first of all, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And there is a case in International Court of Justice between these two countries, because both countries are claiming this land. So in the International Court of Justice, this case was going on, after which ICJ came up with a judgment. So in the 1962, they said this Priya Vihar temple, it belongs to Cambodia and not Thailand. Now what Thailand said at that time, okay, the temple is there, the surrounding area belongs to us. This is the temple and this is the surrounding area. This surrounding area belongs to us. That was their argument. Then what happened in the year 2008, UNESCO listed this temple as part of World Heritage Site, and this had led to more conflict from both sides, because it's like World Heritage Site is gone from our hand. That was the thing, right? Now, you should know basic about World Heritage Site, what you understand by it. So under United Nations, there are so many bodies, so many agencies. One of that body is this UNESCO, which takes care of this education, scientific stuff, cultural parts. So UNESCO maintains one list, which we call as World Heritage Sites. Okay, in that list, some places or some areas will be listed, and this will happen under this convention called as World Heritage Convention, brought in the year 1972. Now they're talking about World Heritage. Something is very important for the entire world, and it is our responsibility to protect it. So let's say we're talking about Taj Mahal. For the world community also, Taj Mahal is important. Are you getting this point? Now Taj Mahal is something we have made it. Culturally it might be important. There can be a natural place that might also, let's say there's a national park. That national park is important for the entire world. If it is destroyed, it is not good for the entire world. So that's how they look at it when you talk about UNESCO. They maintain this list, they provide some funding for the conservation of such sites. Okay? Now, this World Heritage Site would be of total 3 types. First type, we can say cultural. So some kind of building, some kind of monument, as I said about Taj Mahal. Such if there are some good buildings, artistic, those will be part of this cultural kind of World Heritage Site. Okay. Second is natural, forest, mountain, wildlife, etc., etc. For example, this Sundarban, right? Then there are some sites which are mixed. They are natural also and they are important culturally also. So for example, in India we have this Kanchenjunga National Park. It's a national park, it's a forest, naturally important. Culturally also it is considered as quite important. So it's a mixed one. So such 3 categories will be there. And in India right now we have total 44 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Okay, this number might increase with time. You'll get the news for sure if the number is increased, but you should certainly remember this number. 44 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in India. Any doubt? Mapping part? This is easy, but many people get confused with these countries. Done? Nice. Okay, done. Are we on time? Yes. Yes, please ask if you have any doubt. No doubt. Should have doubts. Yes, ma'am. No doubt? No doubt. Okay then. Thank you. Yes? No, it's a conflict. Right now they are fighting. Militaries are getting involved. International Court of Justice said that it is part of Cambodia. Now it's up to them. Although even if they accept, they are saying surrounding area belongs to us. This is a new case now. Okay, and if there is a fight, if there is a war, who can control? Nobody. Not directly. These 2 countries are fighting. We don't care. But these are Hindu temples. If something happens, we will be happy actually. That Hindu temples, people are fighting for Hindu temples. So Indian narrative gets built up. Not going to matter much for India as such.
In the Cambodia region, Hindu religion workers are there.
Yes. So you have to read the history, the southern part of India, especially this Chola kingdom that was there. So they have spread Hinduism, Buddhism, so many things. So you'll understand the Southeast Asia is the region where Indian influence is very strong. Okay. Yes, largest Hindu temples are also there in these areas. And it's very strong. You'll find that when you'll study about Southeast Asia in detail, then you'll understand that. One thing where it seems, but it is like we're thinking in a very long stage, when 2 countries are fighting, if there is a group in which these 2 countries are there, that group cannot perform better. Let's say in South Asia, we made a group of South Asia. Okay, SAARC, if you know. In that, all the South Asia countries like, let's say, India, Bhutan, Nepal, not China, Pakistan, these countries are there. Now 2 countries keep on fighting in this group, India and Pakistan, because of which this group cannot perform tasks. If this group had to take some action, they had to come up with some new initiative, these two countries will keep on fighting. Now, similar thing might happen over here, because of which they have this group called as ASEAN, which is very famous. Just like European Union, this ASEAN is very famous. And they have a really good cooperation among each other in ASEAN countries. So somewhere there will be role of this ASEAN. If this issue has to be resolved, I don't think this International Court of Justice can solve it. Rather, these countries might play a better role in sorting out this matter. Okay? Yes? Done? Okay, done.
Last week, first marriage. First, no.